it's Ryukin here, and welcome back to our new episode and installment of the Weekly Dose of Reviewing Stuff. And today, we are going to take a look at some old tech right here that I picked it up from my dad and the one that I got from the Korean sale. And yes, guess what? I got a mouse and a webcam. Nah, I didn't mean to do this because, like, you know what? I got a mouse for my dad and this one here that I bought for myself. So both of these right here, they were dead back in 2010 and 2012. And well, of course, I grew up with this kind of stuff right here, and of course, I'm going to be reviewing them right here in this video, along with the mouse right here that I got for my dad, and this one here that I bought for myself. And before I get to the webcam right here, so we're going to take a look at the one right here that I got from my dad. And this right here is called a Signo mouse. Looks pretty generic, right? As you can see here, it features 1000 dots per inch, which, well, of course, is going to be some good gaming mouse, right? But unlike this one here that I have, this one is a vertical mouse, which I can actually like hold on comfortably like this, and I can like move around and stuff. And this one here is basically a classic looking mouse. Nothing special, right? And on the back right there, you can see all the specs of this thing right here, and here's what it supports up to. And of course, this mouse right here, it supports Windows and Linux, which is great. And of course, it can support up to Windows Vista and macOS. Pretty nice, by the way. And here it says, well, perfectly for both right or left hand user. Just like my dad, actually, because like my dad, he's a kind of a left hand person, but I'm a right hand person. But of course, it's basically an optical mouse. And what it really blew my mind here about this mouse right here is that it also comes with the PS/2 serial port thing, which is also included in the package. We are going to see that in later. And of course, there is nothing left to say about this package right now, so I guess we are going to unbox it on camera. So, and stop looking at the screen, because this makes it even more silly. Alright, so inside the box, we got the supposedly a PS/2 adapter. It's basically a serial port there if you want to connect up to your PS2 port or whatever it is. So this is basically a serial port adapter to the USB. So, and of course on the back right here you get the USB 2.0 there, and of course it's basically a standard high-speed one. As I take out the mouse, you can see that the plate come along. Just get rid of the paperwork. By the way, it looks pretty. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Bro, stop messing around. Alright, so we got a Signo gaming mouse right here, as you can see. And of course, it has a pretty nice plastic finish there. And the sound. It makes some pretty loud clicky noises though, which is kind of a typical mouse back then in the day. And unlike the one that I used to have right here, hold on a second. Unlike the one that I used to have right here, which is a RGB mouse right here that I used to have along with the Tsunami MK61 here that I used to have. So this one here also makes this type of noises. But this one here is far more better than this one. This one's like cheap. Alright, you can already tell the difference between these two. Alright, let's get rid of that mouse because like I have the one right here that is already present here. So, alright, let's get to Signo mouse. So the Signo mouse right here, the date of this thing right here that is been made, it traces back to 2010. As you can see here from the warranty sticker right there. I presume that this mouse right here, it is made in 2010, and of course you can already see what's going on there. And here is on the top right here where the date of manufacture right here is up to, and I don't see anything on there, but it's like just like it's supposed to be like a marking right there, otherwise it's going to tell you how or when this mouse right here is being made. And of course it is made on somewhere in January of 2010, which that means this mouse right here is like 15 years old now at this point. But even though it looks pretty good, and of course I'm going to use that in later. And here is the serial port here that they were talking about. So you're basically just going to put the USB right here in there, and of course you can connect it to your old VGA port or whatever you wanted to do with this PS2 adapter right there. And of course this is an old style USB port, so it shouldn't be boring you today, because like most of the computers are here and even my laptop uses USB, which that means there's no need to use this adapter anymore. Or else if you want to use it for your old laptop or old computer that has this port right here, you can. So that's a pretty useful adapter right there. And well, of course, the wire right here is basically looks pretty thin and looks pretty cheaply made, just like the clicky noises. And as you can see here, along the pretty nice plastic finish there is also some worn out use right here on both the left and the right click, which is so subtle. But even though you can't even see it on camera, but for my eyes, I already can see some of the parts right here that it is spring use. I don't know if the original I got this mouse right here so good that it's kind of just. And I think of another possibility right here that this mouse right here is been left in stock running away, and then the seller decided, hey, just give it away, and they actually agreed, and they basically just put it along with the thing right here that my dad got. That's a pretty big possibility that I can tell you about. So so yeah, and that's it for the Signo mouse. And of course the Signo mouse right here is basically just going to be nothing but of course a pretty janky, cheap, not quite a few baht, but it's actually a few baht. So a few bahts and a few bucks mouse. It's like a $5 mouse. So see, it's pretty cheap. It's so cheap, way too cheap. Just going to put that away. And also I did actually use this mouse right here off camera, so I'm going to conclude that this mouse right here is basically just a 2010 junk in my opinion. So I'm just going to leave that away if I really want to. But maybe if I want to use this mouse again, I'm possibly going to do it if it wasn't on camera. So but as of right now, I'm just going to stick with this mouse right here that I have. So this is a novel NMD04. This is an ergonomic mouse. It's pretty cheap, but it uses like pretty good, you know. And it's also silent. It's pretty silent. You can't even hear it click, unlike that one. This one's basically just silent. It's completely silent. So, alright, so this Signo mouse right here, I'm going to give a conclusion that this is basically a 2010 junk, and of course you can also use it to connect it up to your old PC that has an old style port, or if you want to use this mouse right here for whatever purpose you want to use this mouse, it's up to you. I'm just going to put that away for now and move on to the next item, which is a pretty great fan right here that I found on Lazada. And this is a Logitech. Once again, it is a Logitech C170. This webcam right here, it has been around since 2012, and of course I was just a little kid studying grade 1 at a time. And this right here, however, it is one of those best #1 selling webcams in the world. So, and we take a lot of the features of this thing right here in the first time that I see this item right here. So first of all, right here on the front, you can see the features of what this webcam is going to offer you. It offers you a VGA video calling experience, a picture of 5 megapixel stills, and it has a Bluetooth microphone, which of course all the webcams must have Bluetooth microphone, or else if they don't have a Bluetooth microphone, it's just basically going to be a camera that doesn't have a microphone in it. Like imagine this thing right here, it doesn't have a microphone, your webcam right here, it basically just becomes a literal silent movie film camera and such. So without the microphone, but this one here has a microphone that is also noise cancellation, which is pretty nice. And on the side right here, basically shows the actual specs of this thing right here along compared to the other models. And this one here that I got is a C170. It offers me a photo quality of 5 megapixels with a VGA video quality for calls, and focus type is always focus, which that means there is no way that you can focus on macro or autofocus. It's basically a focus-free camera, and has a Bluetooth mic, yes, auto light correction, this one doesn't have, but meanwhile on the other models, they do have standard to premium, which unfortunately I couldn't find them anymore or anywhere, or if I could find one, it's basically on eBay. Maybe it's very expensive, or maybe it's going to be cheap. So who knows what the price of the other models is there. So the C270 and the C110, which the C3110 right here offers the same photo quality as the C170, but except this one here is much higher resolution. So it's much higher resolution. The video quality is basically on 720p. So, and on the side right here are the specs of this thing that offers you. And of course, the VGA right here is also not just for video, but it's also for video call, which is the maximum quality that you can get on this webcam right here when it comes to doing a video call and such. And back then, keep in mind that this call didn't exist back then, and the only thing that it used to exist back then, it was Skype. And of course, I didn't use Skype, I only use Discord because I'm a Gen Zer, you know. I use Discord mainly as the main communication service for talking with my friends online, and even for my friends from far away over there. So, and of course the photos is up to 5 megapixels, which I have already mentioned that. And there is also a dedicated Logitech software which can pan, tilt, and zoom. And of course, there is also a photo and video capture, motion detection, requires an installation of the software available at download at www.logitech.com/downloads, which they do have an actual software for this thing right here. And yep, there is also what you would need for this right here to be used on your PC right here that is going to be requiring you. And of course, it requires minimum of Vista and Windows 7 or 8, maybe even 10 or 11 or up. And of course, for the best video call experience right here, we suggest dual core CPU with 1 GB of RAM. This shouldn't be a problem for me, but since like I have a AMD Ryzen 7 with a AMD Radeon graphics in here, which I guess this shouldn't be a big problem for me anyway, but since like am I going to use a 2012 webcam on such a modern technology after all? Okay, so I guess there is nothing left to say here, but on the back it basically tells the features of what this webcam here offers you, and of course it's basically going to be there saying nonsense about the product. Alright, so right now we are going to take a look of what we got within the box of a C170 Logitech webcam. And this is also trusted by Cynics. Yep, it's legit. This is what you can tell that this thing here is completely legit in Thailand when it comes to buying IT and such. And I'm going to unbox it up, and there is some strange thing right here while I was trying to unbox this thing right here, is that I didn't know that there's this part here that I had to lift up and to get into the contents. And of course, I'm just pretty stupid off camera, and of course, you know what, I thought this part right here is where you can slide out like on my MSI monitor right here, that you can actually slide out to get the contents, but it's not even there. But instead, I'm just with stupid. This flap right here is where we can get all the contents right here off the box, like this. I'm with stupid. Okay, inside the contents in the box, we got the webcam and some warranty card, which they look pretty old. So let me take you all a look into the things right here that I got with the webcam. And here it is, some documentations of the webcam itself. So this one here is basically a warranty card, which it got inspired like a long time ago now at this point. And this is a user manual right here in different languages, from English, Chinese to Korean, which is strange because like I never see it included with the Korean language. But if it's going to include Japanese language, that would be pretty cool to see that. But of course, it's just nothing, leaving me with only Chinese language. And see, this is what I left it with. I got English and Chinese and Korean. and that's it. So there is no way that I can get any languages out of it. Aside, I was just going to look at the English section anyway. So, and this is where it mentions about the parts of the webcam, so you can see that. This is what it looks like. And of course, here it says, thank you for buying a Logitech webcam. Well, you're welcome. Here is where it mentions about setting up the webcam for the physical body and then inside the body, which you can set on for your Skype if you want to. But nowadays, it's pretty easy to set up. Because like if your laptop detects the webcam, it's basically going to use one. And of course, if I were to use a Discord here with this webcam on, the Discord immediately recognizes it and use that webcam as the video calling thing right there. So, and well, of course, you can see that the paper here looks kind of degraded from aging. You see that yellow substance there. Ew. And well, of course, there is nothing much about the user manual here, which is basically just some stuff right here that you would expect from the user manual that when you got with the product. It's nothing. It's just some pretty much useless manual that you guys wouldn't even read. And of course, on the back, there's the website there, logitech.com. Yep. This website right here, I know it still exists or what, but since like if they do exist, it's been going to be modernized anyway. And this part right here is going to be tricky because like this is what it came in the box. It looks like this. Oh my goodness. And right now I have to carefully fold this part here to get into the webcam and then pull this out gently like so, and then there is the webcam. You can't even see it though because like I kind of unboxed it off camera. Alright, see, here's what it looks like right here. When I got it out, stuck. The cable got stuck. Alright, let me just put this away so I can pull away the balls nice and easy. Alright, I'm going to put away the webcam first so I can put out the box nice and easy there. And of course, again, this is what it looks like right here on the box again. The system requirements, minimum of Windows Vista, and the maximum is Windows 8 and up. That's pretty great. It's still relevant to this day. And alright, let me place down this box right here behind me, and then we're going to take a look at the actual webcam itself. And here's the webcam right here. You can see that it's basically a pretty basic looking webcam there. And of course, here's the part right here that is basically a bit of design there. And of course, there's a tally indicator light right here instead of a privacy shutter. And there's a microphone beside the camera, and this is the camera itself. So you can see that the camera right here is basically just an open hole. There's no glass or anything. Or if you want to risk this webcam right here in the middle of the dust, well, you were going to expect a dust on the lens anyway. Looking like a pretty tiny little hole there, and you can see that it's basically just a tiny little hole there for the lens and the sensor itself. But since like this sensor right here is only 5 megapixels and the video resolution that it can take up is about 640, and also the maximum resolution of the video right here when recording is about 1024 by 768, which is still standard definition, but it looks pretty worse at the time compared to the other Logitech webcam models at the time. And of course, this webcam right here, it looks pretty basic, and of course it's made of a pretty high quality plastic. And at the other end there is your USB 2.0, as you can see here, and there's also this block right here where I don't know what it's supposed to do, but obviously it's made not to, like, you know, when there's something that interrupts the signal of the cable is going to disrupt it, so that's why they added this block right here. And well, there's nothing much left to say about this Logitech webcam now. And what about the experience that I have with this thing right here? So the experience right here that I have with this thing right here is that, well, so this thing right here, like after I got it out, unboxed it, I kind of play around with it, and of course, like the quality right here of this thing, it looks pretty terrible. Here is a pre-video test of a Logitech C170 webcam right here from 2012. And of course, like what you expect a 2012 webcam at the time that has such a quality like this? course, the video right here, it is something that you would go to expect back then in the day, and of course like many people right here would buy a pretty cheap webcam. I mean this kind of webcam right here, and then like you're just going to want to play around with it, like recording your lip sync cover songs or even just some nonsense video that you want to record on a webcam, which I actually did as a kid back then. And of course like back then I don't know what the technology was, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Like I got used to play around the webcam though, but it was like a short time until like I finally come back to play stuff again as an adult. So, and well, of course, there's nothing left on this webcam right here that I want to play around with. There's no piracy shutter on this webcam, which that means there's like a pretty easy chance for the lens to get dust by the dust, because the dust would get into the lens over time. So, and that's the cons of this webcam. And there is only way that I can fix it is basically just going to pull out the plastic film on the camera, so there's no dust would enter in. So, and that's the only solution that I can think of right now. But of course, I'm just going to be making it look like this anyway, because like I really like the way that it looks. And this is the clip right here where you can clip onto your monitor or your laptop monitor, depending on what you're going to put this webcam right here on. And this one here also compatible for thicker CRT monitors, which is pretty nice to have that. And of course, like there's like a pretty nice rubber finish here, which it prevents the webcam right here from falling and such, because like the plastic right here is basically just pretty smooth. It's so smooth that sometimes it's just going to be slippery and causing this webcam right here to fall and just going to bang. So just like kind of a bang, I think. But since like I did try my best to set up this webcam right here, and of course like the results right here, it kind of surprised me. The webcam right here pretty much works, and of course it still be the worst webcam right here of this era. But even though back in 2012 this webcam right here was kind of a medium good at the time, and of course like there's a lot of webcams out there, including some of the other brands aside Logitech, that they made a pretty good webcams at the time, and this one here was the medium one. And until like in 2025, this one right here, it will eventually turn into a pretty low tier webcam, just like the one that I have right here, which that one is quite better than this one. Not gonna lie. But even though that one right here doesn't even have autofocus or anything, so it's basically focus free webcam there. And this one here is also a focus free camera, but of course like the only thing that you would get is basically just a camera there with a microphone, and that's it. And I didn't test the photo quality of this thing right here, unfortunately, but since like the photo quality right here on my laptop right here, however, it didn't recognize of those photo quality that it can be interpolated up to 5 megapixels, which that means I have to separately install its own proprietary software for its own website. And of course, I don't know if that app is going to be defunct, and of course like I guess I'm just going to stick up a video test anyway, but since like this is the closest thing that I can get to play around with this webcam. And getting started with video calling, this would be the Skype way. As you can see here, I'm not going to get into detail that much, but since like this is going to provide you a VGA quality video calling, and I'm pretty sure that this webcam right here, it has a VGA sensor, which that means the 5 megapixel photo quality right here, it must be interpolated. So, and of course it still be the worst webcam right here in 2025, and of course like when I play around with it, it's just man, it still be the webcam as what it is. And okay, so this has been a review of the Signo mouse and the Logitech webcam right here. Both of these right here will come from the same era, and of course this one here, this is probably 2 years older than the Logitech webcam right here. This one right here, however, I'm not going to use it as a backup mouse if in case of this emergency right here that the battery die out, so I can have it recharge. So but since like I have a rechargeable battery pack in here, so I'm going to show it to you right here what it looks like. And there it is. This is a battery pack right here that I had inside the mouse right here. It looks pretty pink because like I found this one right here lying around and I could actually get it to work. So and of course it still works. Oh, just fired to my eyes. Oh my goodness. It still works, and of course I got it charged fully, which that means I can have a pretty long session of use on this mouse. And this mouse right here, I only can be used if I want to like use it as a backup mouse in case of the battery on this thing right here dies out, and I can use this mouse right here as the backup mouse for some of the works right here that it needs to be done or such. Aside if this mouse right here dead, this one here can still be used as a backup mouse because like it doesn't require any power. The power that is going to be required is from the USB anyway. Alright, this is the pros right here of this mouse. The cons, well, plastic, and the mouse looks pretty much clicky and cheap feeling. It's just cheap, bro. I'm not going to say anything more about this, but I just can't get away with it. That's the cons of this Signo mouse and this webcam right here. However, this webcam right here, as like what I said, I got it on a clearance sale because like they were vetting out of all the stuff right here and they sell for cheap. And obviously this one here is a complete second-hand one, and of course like it doesn't have a warranty as of now because like the warranty got expired like a long ago. And this webcam right here, however, I'm going to conclude that this webcam right here, it is still the worst in 2025 and the next years to come. And of course, if you want to like get a retro feeling from this webcam, you can. But as a person like me right here who really enjoys using retro stuff, well, this is not going to be bothering me that much. But since like this right here, we eventually replaced the webcam here that I have, which this webcam right here, it has like a pretty much way too high quality, so that's why I just kind of downgrade myself right here to get some low quality stuff because like, you know, I just got an interest in some old tech though, including this webcam right here. But well, of course, I'm going to conclude that it is still be the worst webcam in 2025. But well, this webcam right here, it is still be a pretty interesting idea right here for some of you guys. If you want a pretty nice old low quality footage out of this thing, this one here, it might be for you if you're looking for a pretty low quality webcam here that it offers you a beautiful nostalgic and a pretty beautiful aesthetic in the low quality video. So if you guys enjoy looking at the low quality footage there. So I guess this is going to be it now for today's video. So I guess there's nothing left to say about these two now, so I'm going to put them away and we're going to close out this video right here. And this has been a review on both the Logitech and the mouse. I hope you all enjoyed this video right here, and if you like this nonsense stuff right here, or you see me play Minecraft more of this, or you want to see me do some real life videos like this, like the videos of real stuff, so please leave me a like, comment แล้วก็ที่สำคัญมากเลยนั่นคือการกดปุ่ม subscribe สีแดงให้ผมด้วยแล้วมันจะเป็นกำลังใจให้ผมในการทำคลิปต่อๆไปทั้งในวันนี้แล้วก็ในอนาคตด้วยนะครับ and this has been the review of the mouse and a webcam from 2010 era, and I will see y'all there in the next one where I'm going to make more awesome quality content like this for y'all and for you guys. B-roll not included unfortunately for this video, but that's okay, so you can see my face all day long. Bye bye, สวัสดีครับ